Hey everybody, it's Bust, and we're getting here towards the end of Empires of the Ascended, and so we're going to jump in and try to do some left pack drafts and some LOR Guardian drafts for us. It's something we always try to do here at the end of the expansion. This one stayed really fresh. It's been nice. Like typically we get to the end of the end of the format, and then we're usually just kind of like bored with it about a month into it. But I mean, maybe it's just because this was the release of the big set and not the little sets, but this like really crept up on me. I was expecting to be bored and, and just ready for the new cards, but I've had a pretty good time with Empires of the Ascended. Well done. But as far as these go, like here recently, we've been trying to touch on drafting three factions. It's just kind of one of those things where I don't think it's typically very good, but I still think I should get out here and try it every once in a while just to see if maybe I'm missing something, or if it's it's actually good when we think it's not, or what have you. I don't think it's very good, but it's good to go out here and try. And so we're going to do a left pack draft here today, and this brings in a lot of the similar ideas that maybe we've missed something, maybe Talia is actually good, and we just drafted her once and decided it was garbage and left it be. And so it is good to get in here and just kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit, try something a little bit different, and see if you can't, piece together a winning trial, or at least to learn something while you're at it. And so with this one, we're going to take the Ashe because she's the left pack here. Regardless of what the ratings here say, this Draven is far and away the best champion pack out of all of these. I really don't like starting with Frozen Solid Ashe or with Shield Wall Shen. Both of these are essentially supporting card pools. The big problem I have with Ashe is that frostbites don't really do anything. They just help you not lose combats. And so there's a touch of having zero attack matters themes. Ashe's flip says that unit can't with zero attack can't block. There's that challenger wolf that just auto kills units with zero attack. There's a handful of things that you can actually do with this, but in general, like if we're just playing a frostbite, that just means we're just not losing a combat. And so it doesn't give us a way to come in and directly kill our opponent's units. It doesn't have, say, like challenger or vulnerable where we say, hey, your unit has to come into combat here and do something. It's just basically, well, your unit gets kind of attack negated for a turn. And so it's like you're really just hoping to, not lose a combat or cancel an Acid Strike or something. They're all in all not too powerful, and there's not enough build around to make up for their weakness. But, Ashe is the one that we're going to be pursuing here. Not a horrible start with Ashe Troll Chant, Alpha Wildclaw, but, let's take a moment and get her pulled up here real quick. And so, if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to be over on ftpbust.com. This is my website here. So, I mean, in general, if you wanted to just find, say, an Ashe trial, you could push the search button, and we have, a handful of Ashe videos here. It's a little bit easier to find things this way than finding them on the old YouTube, but this should be a pretty good way to come up with most of our Ashe trials. And then, of course, all of the videos themselves I put into the guide section, and I think pretty much everyone here is familiar with the tier list, and so that is here in text, image, and the link to the YouTube is here as well. But today we're going to be over here on the Expedition Helper section. We'll click on the box and go to Frozen Solid Ashe, and this will bring us up all the cards that live in this card pool. And so, yeah, with her, like, I typically prefer that she's just like a supporting champion. For instance, say like Fiora and looking to pick up Frostbites, then that's fine. But there's not any like real and true build around themes here, other than Ashe flipping and doing the no block thing, and then the Rhymefang Wolf. I mean, you can include Winter's Breath into the zero attack matters, and you can include Shatter into the zero attack matters. But this isn't like enough payoff to really chase after the Frostbites theme. But it's what we have to pursue here. Anyways, it's what Ashe is good at. The things I really like to pursue here would be more of the suit up style theme or the ancient evil style theme, where we're really looking to come out here and buff our units. So we have Avarosian Outriders and Starlit Seer, both giving our units sizable buffs. And then the other thing we can look for, it doesn't live within Frozen Solid Ashe. It does live on Blood on the Ice, where you're able to come out here and get your Avarosian Trappers, your Yeti Yearlings. So you can piece together a Yeti style deck if you're, say, like with Shurima and 5 attack matters, or Noxus and 5 attack matters. So you have some more options out of this pool as opposed to the Frozen Solid. But we'll see how it plays out here. And so starting with Ashe, hopefully we'll find someone that can support her well. It looks like it's going to be a Trundle. We're jumping in the old Freylord allegiance here, and so it can, be kind of reasonable. You can see like the real non-bow that we can get here when, we want to use Ash to give units 0 attack and then have damaged units to give +3/+3 to. It's not that fantastic of a combo, but let's see what we can see with the otherworldly journeys. This is a pool that, it pairs up with Aurelian Soul, and it's meant to be a ramp pool, and so you're supposed to be out here playing your Catalyst of the Aeons and your Weirding Stones to get your ramp going, so that you can close out the games quicker by getting Aurelian Soul down on like turn 7 or turn 8. The kind of other themes that this has going on are all of the trolls live here, so we'll see like a Troll Ravager, Troll Scavenger. These all behold 8 cost cards, and then kind of the synergistic things with these are your AoEs. And so if you have a Troll Ravager on the board, you've got an expensive card, so he comes down with Regenerate, and then you play an Avalanche, then there's a good chance it'll take some damage and just heal it up for the next turn. And so a lot of these Regenerate themes live here as well. But in general, it's just like not a whole lot of cards that I particularly like, outside of having some like really good epics down here and Feel the Rush and the Tusk Raider, to a lesser degree War Mother's Call. But we'll see how this pieces together. This isn't something I'd really look for with Ash. I'd rather be seeing like a Sejuani or Tryndamere, but he's a sizable unit. We can see if we can't piece something together here. So welcome to the team Trundle. And crap! I was like, I was really hoping, because we're just going to come in here. I didn't like lay out the rules for how we do this, but I just take all of the left packs throughout the entire draft, and then I take the trade picks how I see fit. And so, I do like to come in here and kind of like talk about what's good and what's bad and what I'd like to do, and then try to piece it back into a reasonable deck after the draft itself. And so, I'm just going to take this Augur of the Old Ones at the stairs. I was really hoping that at least like the Frozen Solid pack would be over here on the left, so we don't have to draft a whole bunch of otherworldly creatures, but that's not the way it's going to be today. And so here, I would be really happy to have the Icevale Archer Alpha Wildclaw. I don't really like diving into Noxus on this Blood on the Ice, unless I already have the Noxcria Arena, but it's a reasonable pack as well. It should help us pick up Yetis if that's what we're looking to do. But, looks like we're about to try to behold some things, and so let's make this super expensive deck and see how it goes. Oh boy, here's a good one. Oh boy, we get the Dragon's Clutch with no dragons, along with one of the shittiest combat tricks in the game. All right, we're doing the uphill battle in this one. And so, as far as this pack goes, I would rather have the Shared Spoils Scarthane Stefan. Both of these are mediocre, amidst though a bunch of cards that are either just mediocre to bad, like bad, 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 closer to bad than good. And so, at least 2 mediocres sounds pretty good in that sense. But oh boy, let's see what we get ourselves into here. Okay, then again, like we would have ourselves like a pretty reasonable deck if we'd gotten to take the picks that we wanted. If, our draft picks had been 2 Icevale Archers, 1 Alpha Wildclaw, 1 Brittle Steel, the Shared Spoils, and then the 2/4 for 3 mana. Like that's the nice start to a deck. But at least we get a little bit of raw power here in the Firebrand and an early game play in the Sentry. So I wanted to draft towards Ash, but it's just not what's happening here today. And then, in a similar vein here, we would prefer to have the Brittle Steel Avarosian Sentry. That's a pretty easy pack. There's some arguments to come out here and try and take Mountain Goats because they're, pretty efficient when dealing with Frostbites. So you get like, kind of like a quarter of a card extra out of winning a combat with a Frostbite. But, there's no real combos as far as Freylord is concerned with the gems. But, Shared Spoils with Bloodsworn Pledge, that's what we're taking today. Okay, and then, yeah, I mean, as much as I don't like drafting Frozen Solid Ash, we would have had a pretty strong deck here, coming in and picking up the Shaman and the Tavern Keeper. Another pretty solid choice for us. But, Avarosian Sentries and Moondreamers, let's see how deep we can go. Okay, alrighty. Well, the Yeti Yearling Fury of the North aren't horrible. It's probably, if we had assembled this Ash deck, this is the pack that I would actually want. I don't want Paddle Stars. Mentor of the Stones is fairly medium in these style of decks. He can be interesting that, you can typically get multiple attacks out of this with Frostbites, but he's let's be real, like this card most of the time is just giving a unit a permanent +2/+2 and then picking up 3 gems. And then wouldn't be opposed to having Ravoon, but our top end should be fine here. Okay, then yeah, ultimately, like my big worry with what we're getting into here is our curve is going to be atrocious, and so I would love to pick up the Starlit Seer and the Stefan, but you know, it's these big boys. Let's get the big ones in here. And yeah, here we go. Just a shatter, just what I was hoping we would pick up. You know, given how this deck is pieced together, I would take the Behold the Infinite Moondreamer for this particular deck. If we were drafting towards Ash, then Shatter wouldn't be horrible, and this would also be a pretty reasonable pack, but. All right. It's the uphill battle today. Oh, cool, and a Porofly. And so this would be a pretty good Elixir of Iron Ancient Yeti. Um, but, you know, we needed Porofly. I was like, man, what could make this deck good? This is it right here, Porofly. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Okay, alrighty. Well, maybe it's just like we're so far gone from being in the Frostbite's theme. It's so weird to have to like pick up these flash freezes now that we're getting all these shatters. But you know, ideally, I think we would just take the Stalking Wolf Troll Chant, just kind of even out our units and give us a little bit of interactivity. But gotta get these shatters. Okay, okay. Well, Avalanche and Behold the Infinite. You know, we've got the late game here. Avalanche is pretty useful in this theme that we've pieced together. And so maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. Okay, and a Poro and a Stefan. All right, so with what we've got here, um, wow, this is like this Dragon's Clutch for the faces. It's trash for trash. You know, we're not quite the Dragon's deck, but I think we might be able to say like find one more Trundle and one Aurelion Soul, assuming that we can win some games. And then just be in this kind of like late games invoke deck. You know, it's tough for us to really take advantage of cards like Dragon's Clutch because we're out of Demacia and don't have access to the full the full load of dragons. But you know, getting rid of Porofly is just a little bit more important here. We're also picking up an early game play out of this when we have all these shatters. I think this will be okay. All right, so yeah, this is not not the way I would have hoped it would have gone. This is we had the opportunity to draft, you know, a decent deck, but the fates decided differently. So with this, let's hang on to our ramp, and then we'll go in and try to find just a little bit more early game. I love the non-bow with Avalanche and Voices of the Old Ones. Is that the 2-cost, right? The 2-cost Behold that ramps, so you can, you know, play him on 2 and then ramp on up to 4 mana on turn 3 and play Avalanche and kill your own unit. Like I think it's a fantastic combo. I don't know what you all are doing out there, but I think it's pretty good. But with this, you know, we'll see how this lines up. We don't have any plays right away anyways, but we, you know, might find ourselves looking at a pretty decent Avalanche. So can add the Stefan. I was really wanting to just kind of like go a turn before adding the Weirding Stones. Are we a little happier with this now that he's already attacked? I mean, the stones are fine, I guess. Kind of sucks leaving them with like just 1 health, but how does this even play out? So we play this and we'll have 5 mana and 2 banked next turn? I think I'd rather just play the Stefan. Right, we can still Avalanche Weirding Stones next turn if we want to. So let's give him the opportunity to play some more small dudes before we Avalanche this board. And of course, that could also lead us to a spot to where, you know, we make this Stefan a 5/2 and get it into combat, opposed to playing Weirding Stones and then protecting it with the Sunblessed Vigor. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll make quick work of you. Failed Temple. All right. Well, this is probably as good as Avalanche is going to get. And at least doing this, you know, potentially takes away some options for him to give the boosts from the temple. Another fight. Potentially, we love some potential here. And Zoe. All right. Thinking of like Mystic Shotting our Stefan, but just kind of stalling on it? No? Okay. Cool. Oh, getting this Stefan suited up.
What don't I do?
These old eyes still see far and clear.
Assume this is just he's doing some kind of play to get the Veiled Temple going.
The journey is difficult. These will protect you.
Getting pretty close to to trying to AoE his board again with it that stairs.
This is glorious!
Sapphire, gem of our divine patron.
Okay.
Anything else?
Discard Star Shaping. Interesting. We're getting pretty close to the late game here.
You know what my
Your head number
future
2,
is?
you got it.
Glorious!
This is a very it that staresable board.
Try to keep up.
Okay, so I'm just going to be greedy with this and take the good blocks where we have them.
Look out for reavers.
Very good.
Just another winter.
This should be pretty close to locking up the game. I have to assume that he has real trouble dealing with just the size of it that stairs along with whatever invoke we get out of Moondreamer. So odd to see him discard Star Shaping coming into the mid to late game here, but works for us. Ever gonna behold? Don't really want to take the Trickster, but we could be pretty far out from ever hitting another Celestial. What do we have? We got one Behold the Infinite. Is that really it? Yeah, we can't take Cosmic Inspiration. Okay, Trickster it is.
I'll tell a story.
And I want to see how this plays out. I don't really want to trade the Stefan with one of these and then just kill it off with the stairs. I'm kind of envisioning that, you know, opponent plays like a smaller-ish unit, and then we're able to, like, Targon shield our Stefan and then hit the stairs so it doesn't die. We'll see. I'm not super worried about this Veiled Temple anymore. But I mean, I'm probably also okay with just throwing away the Stefan, but not that he trades so well with this. This also pops the spell shield on the Firebrand. May be relevant, may not, but gets it weakened a little bit.
This will be a fine story.
Okay. What's our dragon sitch like here? We got... Do we even have any dragons? What do we have? I thought we had a... Oh, we've got 2 fused Firebrands, but you have to draw dragons with different names, so we'll only be drawing 1. So here, I think we're really just looking to play like an offensive shatter onto his Firebrand. He gets reasonable blocks with it. Maybe that's not spectacular, but I don't want to trade like Wild Claws into this. Okay. Oh. Weird, he's not like adding anything to the board. Just choosing to play Ignition. Beam? Sure. Alright, so assume we do this. What's probably going to happen is he's going to put the Ballistic Bot in front of our Stefan. Oh, okay. He's just going to he's just going to click top right. Alright, we won a game. That's pretty cool. That's a little more more than I expected out of this one. So, props to us. Let's see. And so, how do we want to upgrade here? We can take Aurelian Soul, but I can't remember. I can't remember if I just take the left one every time. I can't remember the way I used to do this. I think I just give myself trade picks and take the one on the left is the way we used to do it. I can't remember. We'll take this Trundle, I guess, but Interestingly, it's like this Aurelian Soul I would like, just in the sense that we have the one Dragon's Clutch, and it's nice to be able to pick him up in the late game, but it's ultimately not like a super necessary card. The one I'd really prefer here is this Howling Abyss with Ash, but not what we're doing. We're taking the Trundles here. He's on the left. In the spirit of the left pack draft, we'll continue that continue that theme. Right. Yeah, I have my little rule book written down somewhere. I don't remember if I let myself have the champion picks or not, but instead of looking it up, we'll just assume we're gonna take the one on the left. Okay. All right, opponent number 2. Good old Crispo. It says 2 Shyvanas. Let's see. Kind of tempted to hang on to shared spoils here. I think this could be okay. If we play a Yeti Yearling, he doesn't play anything, and then we get to plunder on turn 2. We don't really want to play Icevale Archers on 2. These are awkward on our even attacks. Right, what are we supposed to do? Just like open with Icevale Archer? So this is cool. Yeah, let's get this plunder in. Ready to draw one of them. Trundle. Alright, I don't know if we can late game as good as a Dragon's deck, but we'll certainly try our best. We're getting the boosts on all the big boys, and so that's certainly nice at least. Here, I think we're okay to just go ahead and take 2. Do we ever just want to do this so that we can get our Yetis? Not opposed to it. They are just going to be random ass draws, but we're probably better off just preventing the 1. Alright, that's not a playable card. Let's at least spend some mana here. Start off with the Trickster. Probably reasonable. We can maybe fit Icevale Archer in at some point, right? We're in this weird spot to where we're going to be playing like a 5 and a 6.
You must have some unique
But, when it comes to being, say, like turn 7, if we play like Trundle and Icevale Archer or Reaver and Icevale Archer, we can fit that in a little easier than the Trickster.
You and I have met before, haven't we?
Feels a little scary to just come out here and start with Trundle. I feel like there's a good chance that we just get hit with like Sharp Sight or something here, or single combat, and really run into problems. How much safer do we feel with the addition of Take Heart? Kind of like it for next turn. I think we want to just open. I don't really want to attack with Trundle into this. We get hit with like a riposte. It sucks a lot, but I think this could turn out to be very good. Especially if he's like, I'm going to block with Startled Stomper. Get that damage on it so we can take Heart on this big boy. What you got? The Radiant? That's just a trade? Okay. Interesting.
I've trained my whole life for this.
Ice to meet you. Ha!
Ice to meet him, Trundle. Zenith Blade. I thought that this was gonna be like a single combat onto the Yeti Yearling. Like that was immediately the first thing that went into my head, and I was like, "Oh snap, we're gonna get this brutal take heart." Not the case, but
For my fury.
one can dream. We get out of this.
Nothing's tougher than a
Sure.
troll.
We have the trick and the pledge if we need it. I'd say he has something here, but this does flip his Shyvana, so there is a world where he just comes in here and attacks. Okay.
There are none like me.
Alright, so I'd kind of like to keep this 3 mana up to protect our Trundle with the Take Heart. Maybe we just end up playing it anyways, because this is going to fall off next turn. Right, he's just going to heal back up, and we kind of like to make him be a big boy. So, let's let you be a big boy, Trundle. Okay, I think we might have surpassed the single combat range. Oh, let's flip this Trundle.
You're in your boots. You're in my kingdom now.
He should be pretty tough to deal with here. This is a pretty meaty Trundle that's going to be slamming into Shyvana. Everyone likes a meaty Trundle.
A true Freljordian welcome.
I'm just going to go ahead and try to take care of this. There's not like a whole lot he could have to make this scary, but Shyvana not having attacks makes these attacks from us seem pretty dominant.
Smashing. Moonfang smells blood.
Let's get him in there.
Be fun.
A lot of overwhelm. Okay.
Search them.
You would test my steel?
All the tricks all the time. I think we're still pretty okay here. We get to like open at the stairs. Or even like if he just did, yeah, this at the stairs might be putting in the real work this game.
Come hither, you beasts of glory!
He's not playing Aurelion Soul, right? Shyvana's and Terex. Oh, out of the way. Okay. All right, I feel like that's probably pretty good for us. Right, that's the way you like the oracles ought to look, right? Some effects about to happen and all your opponent's units are dead and yours aren't. That's typically a pretty good spot to be in. All right, 2 wins. Bringing that thunder. I talk a lot about it, a lot of trash about it that stairs, and so I'm surprised he's trying to be that good for us today. Let's see. Do we want to pick up a second one? Absolutely not. I think we're happy enough to pick up this Icevale Archer for the Weirding Stones. You gotta take advantage of these shatters and flip our ashes somehow. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. I still like it. The stairs is interesting. It's like there's like I'm never like super interested in the 2 damage AoE. That's kind of like the kind of like fallback plan. Although I know that's the one that we play like 90% of the time. I think truly we look at Ithit Stairs as though as something that can come in and destroy landmarks. But it's just like, excuse me, it's like so weird because they've usually all been like played and used by turn 8. I'm wondering if there's ever a world where that changes. But all right, well here, I don't like hanging on to these 5-drops. Sometimes there's an argument to hang on to these Trundles, but this feels a little bit too slow here. Much better. Not like a whole lot of raw power that we're, adding to the board here, but at least gives us some interactivity so we don't just die by turn 7.
Would you look at this place? You got caught.
Doesn't want to bring the hooks. I think we're good to just go ahead and get him in. It can be awkward if we play Avarosian Sentry and then he just plays random Demacia 3/3. So I think that's fine to let go. Let's see if we just get blown out by Ricochet now. That's gonna be the big one, right? You're fantastic against this board, and he missed his allegiance. I mean, I guess that's kind of what you have coming to you if you're playing 3 factions with the allegiance card. But all right, given this board, I think we want to take the warrior. The golden sister would really just be like asking to have that elusive going, and I think as long as we can like interact with his stuff, that the warrior's got to be fantastic here. Like, what's he supposed to do? Say, like, he plays Renekton or Taric or something here, then we just ace it with the warrior and have Flash Freeze back up, and then all of his units are still shitty blocks against our board. I mean, that seems pretty reasonable. This seems a lot better than adding Golden Sister. Oh, there he goes. So you gotta make these premium if you want to be hidden.
We've got things to do.
Yep. Looks like they added some kind of animation on top of Yeti Yearling. I've never seen that shuffle effect on top of this before. Maybe it's just because we got the fist bump card back and the game unlocks extra features for us. But I mean, like, ideally here he plays, some kind of 6-cost unit that we could shatter. That would be the ideal play. Gotta keep this from attacking. We can't deal with this with shatter, but maybe we can get it next turn.
No surrender.
Maybe we can get it with shatter. Oh, the health is gonna fall back. Would we rather just like bring him back down with the warrior next turn? I think that seems reasonable.
Light the signal fires.
Let's go ahead and take heart so we don't waste mana. Okay, I think that seems fine. Got the flash freeze if he's trying to get clever with a Nasus strike here. He can't strike it. I guess he could strike a Avarosian Sentry and have that not be too bad, but this all seems fine. You gonna do it? Are you gonna strike the Sentry? Give your Nasus +2/+2. Nope. Okay. Interesting avalanche. I don't think so. I think I'm happy enough with this board and then being able to either Bloodsworn Pledge, Flash Freeze, or Bloodsworn Pledge or Flash Freeze Vigor. I think this is always pretty decent. I don't know if you got the memo about playing units that can survive challenges, but that seems to be his struggle here. Usually want to be adding some 3/3s to the board and such. And how do we feel? Because the thing could happen. So we attack. Oh, what's this one? Wow. Okay. That's one way to get your Renekton flipped. I wonder if he already has the second one in his hand. Okay.
For the homestead.
Be interesting if he already has the second one. Otherwise, like, why is he playing Ascended Raz here? Doesn't do anything with Tarek. It only does something for, like, specifically one card, and it doesn't make him, like, survive this this attack. Like, even assuming we didn't have, like, the flash freeze or the combat trick, like, what is he getting out of this? So, it makes a world where we might want to value that flash freeze a little more. Just kind of, like, come in here and go for a trade, and then have the flash freeze ready for, like, the incoming 8/8 Renekton. But I think this is okay. Like, if he's going to have him die with 3 mana, he's not going to be able to play until next turn, and then we can still just, like, shatter it if we want. Very strange.
Our proudest days remain
Maybe he was
ahead.
afraid he would just get, like, 0 value out of that Ascended Rise and just did it while he could. Okay, look at that. I did the mathematics right this time. Go me. Go me. I figured it out.
I go!
What? Okay. I'm sure. What's the reason he would ever do this? With like 1 mana? I'm not seeing what the 1 mana play is. Be like a Radiant Strike out of Demacia, nothing out of Targon. Shurima has things like Exhaust. Huh. Okay. Alright. Alright, making that magic happen. Let's see who's on the left. I bet it's a Trundle. Yep, with Rummel and Ithid Stairs. All right, the 8 drops are accounted for. This is just the most big like U-looking curve there is. Like 8 2-drops, 8 8-drops. Everything else fits in the middle. It's weird. Like I don't think Behold is a bad mechanic. I think Behold's a good mechanic. I just don't like that there's no ways to really like Behold 8-cost cards cheaply. Like, you're making this big deck building sacrifice to include these expensive cards in your deck so that, you're at the risk of, drawing a bunch of cards that are probably dead like, 80% of the game just to activate your Beholds. And so it's like, in Magic, there's always cards like, Fierce Empath. It's just a 3-mana card that draws like a 7-mana or greater unit out of your deck, something along the lines of that. Really surprised me that the only way to get these expensives is like with Trundle. So it's probably like extremely tough to balance though. As far as, if you're drawing cards out of your own deck, like, you're typically not like super excited to be drawing an 8-cost card, but you're still drawing a card. Like if you're playing like a 2/2 for 2 that draws an 8-cost card out of your deck, that's a pretty fucking powerful card because even if like you're playing a reasonable deck to where you just have like a Rumble and a Aurelion Soul, like you know specifically what you're drawing in that situation. So I could see that being tough. But I wish there was a little bit easier way to activate Beholds without without using things like Trundle. We might get Honored Lorded here, which is okay. I figured, shenanigans were afoot when he just skipped on 3 mana since he has the banner and Demacia is so good at playing 3s. But I think this is fine as long as we're just like not dying. Not ultra upset about what's happening. I'm kind of upset that our hand is so abysmal here. We can't play anything till next turn, but I think this is okay. I'm just going to Shared Spoils now. Let's do this. Let's pass and see if he passes. But I'm really just planning on playing Shared Spoils and letting it go. We're going to go like 4, 6, 6, 8, and then maybe if we slot in a unit along the way. But I think we're just probably just too far behind this game now. Open hits for 8. It's not the end of the world. So this open hits for 1 billion now. Okay. Just a little bit too awkward. Okay, are any of these upgrades? I don't think so. It's trying to get us to trade away our cheapers. Why aren't you letting us trade away Dragon's Clutch? Come on, game. Come on. So yeah, I mean, we could have just passed. Maybe that would have been slightly better. Because it was fairly obvious we were about to get hit with the old Shurima, wait till you tap out and I'm going to vulnerable you play. So I guess if we just let that go, played the Poro on our 3, he wouldn't have had anything. Then he could have followed up with like Renekton on 4 and then made a similar play on 5, but at least we would have had more board. So yeah, that was probably a mistake in hindsight. Right, we're not trying to like really compete for board in the early game. Nonetheless, we're moving on. This should be a pretty good start against what looks to be a Scouts deck. Avalanche tends to play fantastically against these style of decks, and so hopefully it'll be able to carry its weight here.
Nothing escapes my watch.
Does he ever just pass to us? Like what?
In Avarosa's name.
I think there's a punish with him playing like a follow-up unit.
Pablo's been
Sure.
down. Let his knee out.
I don't know if I have too much of that previous game on my mind as to whether or not we should have just let that go. Seems okay.
For the homestead.
Wonder if he lets this happen. If this just goes through and we get off the shared spoils, that's pretty decent. I'm just playing spells here. Not today, man. We're protecting our sentry. Okay, seems reasonable for us. No way he plays this mid to late game better than we do. I think we have to be pretty fine here.
We Demacians are no easy prey.
The 6/6 dragon's particularly interesting. Well, I was thinking he had 4 mana. I was like, it's particularly interesting in the world where he might have a riposte, but this is not a repostable board. Can also get interesting things going here if he's looking to say Quinn-Bird our 6/6 so that he can attack with Quinn into our 2/2, and then if we like get a block Avalanche, that's kind of nice. Okay.
No!
We beholden? Not yet.
Ice to meet you. Ha!
beholden now. So let's see how this plays out. I'm not like completely opposed to double shattering Quinn, but he skipped that attack with her, and so I'm not like super worried about just spewing these down. Also kind of interested in trying to land a take hard on one of our units. Let's see what he adds. It's like, what's his play next turn gonna be? It feels like he probably wants to play like the big dragon next turn. Then just having like the shatters just to stop his combats is kind of nice. Okay, this guy just doesn't like playing cards, I guess. I think we're fine to just get bored here. Like, I know we could have attacked, but this just feels like, you know, if we get to go into our next turn, then we're just like in such a good spot to try to get some kind of open in.
Knocked and ready.
We're a pillared Trundle hit. We can still pillar this thing. Okay, there's the riposte play. She just never attacks now. Well, I guess she could attack and he's going to get his hook onto the archer. You ever care about that? I don't think we care.
Ring the fucking bell.
Ring the fucking bell. Can't believe he's just throwing Quinn away. Do we ever just like risk this like him having a rally next turn? I think this is fine. Let's just get this out of here.
Shiver in your boots. You're in my kingdom now.
Yeah, get him, Trundle.
Fortune favors the bold, Captain.
Are we willing to just go ahead and add the auger even though we don't have combos with it? I think this is fine. Can regenerate. Alright, let's see where this gets us. I had such high hopes for this avalanche this game, and it just did not pan out. Right.
Here's the risks.
Should still be pretty tough for him to deal with these big boys. I think we're in a reasonable spot. Our hand is awkward as all get, but I think we have a lot of potential here. Ugh. Alright, we'll take the removal spell.
Oh, where that came from. Ready, boy?
Gonna hook our pillar. Yep. I'm like moderately tempted to just hit this with the Fury of the North. Let's see how this plays out. I still don't think we're in like a big hurry, and if we're just gonna be like acing his units each turn due to the pillar, then I don't feel like a huge obligation to spend a combat trick on this thing. I mean, I'd rather deal open, like trample 4 damage,
In the water.
and get the overwhelms in, as opposed to get in there. You get in there, Ice Pillar. You're ready. You're ready to do some attacking. Okay. Okay. Do we ever actually play the Sentry before the Avalanche so we can cycle it? I don't think so. Okay. Let's get these extra damages in.
Quickly, before they order.
We're trying to kill my units, bro. Nobody appreciates any of this that you're trying to do.
Dog.
We're just out here trying to have fun.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
Okay, I'll let things go with the Augur of the Old Ones. He can get his thing done next turn. But this Ice Pillar attack, say what up. He's ready for business.
No fire.
Okay. Sure. Still got a big old pile of expensives in here. That's kind of worrisome for what he could be drawing. Hoping to see him just be like, here's my Scarthane stuffing. Okay, okay.
Tremble before the winter's claw.
Pretty good squad. It's not lethal, but gosh darn it, this is a good squad. Maybe we can get there. If he plays another unit, we get. Oh, great. That doesn't do a whole lot, but that's what we get for talking trash about it that stairs. Okay. Probably gotta protect the pillar. Yeah, what more could you hope for out of your pilfered goods hitting an 8/8 when you're just playing it for 1? Give the strongest enemy vulnerable. So do we need? We can just shatter this again next turn.
Only a scratch.
Welcome to the party, Trundle.
Going to war.
Do we ever get lethals? What we'll have? We can't we can't play the second pillar. We could still maybe get a lethal. We're at 6, 11, 13. That's short. Oh, let's hang on. We can do more than that. This would be 6, 10, 15, 17 total. He's only got a -2 our attack. Right, we can hook at the stairs with a pillar and see how it goes. Still kind of on board with just playing for value here. I don't think we're at like any real risk of losing.
And I
We'll see.
thought I was a troll.
Maybe he'll spend a bunch of mana on something that doesn't matter.
Demacian needs heroes.
Okay. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that doesn't matter. So this will be a total of 7 health that he can put in front of our units. How big are you? 7? So 17 total. 17 minus 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're only going to be dealing 10. Okay. The mathematics have been decided. Let's get in one of these. Should we just do? We should probably just do it like this, though, right? Let's slam it with Trundle, since we're just going to be overwhelming it anyways. So if he has some kind of shenanigans, like a sharp sight, then we'll still win this combat.
Smack'll do.
I'm okay with that. Seems like a not horrible set of logic. Can't back-to-back riposte would be moderately annoying, but I think this is fine.
You're easy to track.
I don't think we missed lethal, right? I'm at that right, didn't I? 17 minus 4, 5, 6, 7. That gets us to 10. Okay.
You're easy to
I
track.
I feel confident I did that math right this time. It's tough. It's tough to do. Okay. All right.
Still heart, steady aim.
Okay. That seems like a trade we're more than excited to take. Relentless Pursuit and his Quinn for one of our units. I guess he just has to kind of do it just to survive, but okay to me.
Who need me? Crush 'em.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty, we're doing it.
You should be honored.
I'm honored. I thank you, Trundle. Very kind to us today. I even remember when you had 6 health. Okay, and so as far as these go, I mean, Rummel, far from the card we need to add to our deck here, but getting rid of Dragon's Clutch is ultimately too important. Off we go. 8 to 4 wins. That's pretty good. I can't. I have to go look at my notepad for where we've done with these left pack drafts. I think we had like 2 7s, a 0, and like a 3. I think that's our record in this. We'll have to pull it up before we get to the end here. But you know, given like how the draft portion of this went, I feel like I was expecting this to just be like a goose egg short video, you know, in and out. But oh crap, I meant to mulligan this Wild Claw. Whoops. This is a hand. Okay, let's see. Lisa and Quinn, maybe we'll have some time. Evorosian Sentry showing up to the party just in time.
Take hold.
Great. Surprised when they don't offer this up. Like, what are you really gonna get out of this? Are you just gonna take some damages? Or are you gonna wait till we all have mana? You're not gonna spend a combat trick on this thing. So, let's see.
We protect these woods as they protect us.
Got a barriered scout with no bonus. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what's going on here. I am sure I'd like to spend some mana here, but gotta find a way to spew it out here. This is a reasonable way. Give you 2, you neg. And then we can take heart. Okay.
Dog.
The dragon remembers.
Okay, let's get our thunder rolling here. I'm gonna play the Firebrand. It's a little bit safer than running out Trundle, having the spell shields and such.
Confine and contain.
Okay.
You act, but do not see.
Waiting like this we have some opportunity, sure, to get this Trundle down while we have some spell mana banked up. So if we play him on 7 with the 1 mana, then there's a chance we can get him take hearted as well. What's your flip? Trundle Quake?
An aspiring trichologist.
Okay.
We go.
Like we can wear this down reasonably.
Good dog.
Intending on take hearting our Wild Claw, but that's what he wants to make us do. Kind of okay with it. Nope. Okay. And so we picked up a Rummel. Interesting. I think we still need to wait a little bit before we get down the... Oh, maybe we should have just played the Augur onto the Wild Claw, but I feel like this is going to just be okay.
Oh dear. Not the egg.
Can do something now. Like I think that's a little sloppy. Maybe we should have just played the Augur, but now we can ice pillar, flip our Trundle, and then follow up with the Augur. You ever want to just try and trade with this? I mean, I think I'm kind of okay with just giving him the dragon. Weird that he's out here just like spending a bunch of mana now, but
I'm gonna make a U-sickle. One troll to rule them all. It begins.
such aggression. I mean, I think we're okay. Like, you know, if our units die, our units die. I don't think that's a big deal at this stage. Let's do this. You can have the spell, that's fine. Block here, and you can block here. Sure. Like, back-to-back would be not even the worst, right? You can't survive the Invalus Vox through a back-to-back. I would assume that this feels like it's just like another riposte. But, like, riposting down Alpha Wildclaw, not that bad either. Okay.
Contain magic. To the skies.
So, we just want to start. Well, do we want to wait a turn on Rumble so that we can give our real units some bonuses? I think that seems okay. This doesn't feel like the game where we're going to just to boost our Ice Pillar. We don't have the take heart anymore. That was nice though. I'm not. I was pleasantly surprised with how that played itself out. Maybe we do change now that we've picked up the Iceville Archer. Yeah. We have pretty good attacks this turn. Probably don't need to do that. Maybe we can play one defensively next turn. Okay. So that was the creation from his
I am rather large.
one cost guy. Last breaths into expensive spells.
Cannot win.
We have lethal that turn. I was kind of tunneled on just taking down that Invalus Vox and having a board that he probably can't deal with. I didn't stop to think if we could have said like hook his Invalus Vox with Ice Pillar and see if we have enough stats after that.
Pillage and burn.
We're gonna lose our Ice Pillar. It's okay. Okay with him detaining Trundle, but I'd kind of like to give him the option to do that later. So if he wants to say detain our Alpha Wildclaw.
Shall we
Lisa finally
I'll
makes an
follow
appearance.
your lead.
It's nowhere near flipping. What's the worst that happened? Is he like Sonic Wave? I don't think we care if he Sonic Waves.
To meet you.
Okay. Are we lethal with our open now? So we hit with everything. He detains our 7. We hook his Lee Sin. So we're coming in with these. So we've got 8, 12, 17. I mean, are we just safe enough to just add more units anyways? Our additional units aren't that great, though. Let's just add stuff to the board.
Winter, take you.
If he has something like Singular Will, then we got. That's fine. I think we're okay to weaken up Lee Sin, add the Augur, hook Lee Sin with Rummel, and then just make him deal with the rest of our units. Should just hopefully just be too much health for him to deal with. Not Singular Will. Oh god, it's a slow. It's a slow. He's trying to figure out how to play it. He's going to Singular Will us, isn't he? Oh, for Demacia, sure. Alright. That's awkward. That's a lot of health to have to churn through, but... It's probably still reasonable to put it on... Oh no, oh no, hang on. Replace you. We'll give it to Rummel. I assume he's just going to block it anyways, but all of our other units already have... I guess we could have put it on the Wild Claw. Whatevs. I don't think this is the time to be detaining. You'd rather do that in the middle of combat. But, okay. Got it, boss. So, deep blocks are 2 bigs. Getting in for 7.
Arrows at the ready.
Bow to your king.
Oh, he's got barrier now. Oops.
My arrow won't miss.
This is gonna be fun.
Still get in for 9. I don't think there's any 2-mana way out of this. I guess he could have a Steel Tempest. Okay. Alright, alright. Winning games feels good. Getting up to that pre-final battle status. I don't think we need any more Ithid Stairs. I'm not completely opposed to picking up a Troll Gifts with this deck, but I think we can let that go. I think we're going to skip all these. I'm still pretty happy with the Shared Spoils as well. So, skip that. Righty. Oof, pre-final battle. Let's see if we can't take this to 7. We're getting there. If we keep getting appropriate matchups. Reasonable. I think would struggle against, most definitely struggle against Kindred, struggle against Invokes. Just the decks that can go like bigger than us. We got a, a pretty slow deck here, and so if they're also able to be slow, then it would be, very easy for them to go over top of us. But we'll see what we can piece together here. Ash, Trundle, and Anivia. Wonder if he's going to have the old Averosian Hearthguards when we don't. But let's start punching in damage. Very easy for him to just play, Averosian Trapper or something here that we don't attack positively into. Speaking of the devil.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
Alright.
I will unite the Freljord.
It's just Bastard time. I'm not. I don't. I guess when we have double, or when we have at the stairs rumble auger, time is all we really need. But
For the homestead.
this attack is it successful frequently? Probably not. I'm gonna try to take down this Ash. I think he has, you know, a frostbite majority of the time, but you know he's not. He's only got 2 ashes, and so maybe he just kind of chose her because she was cheaper. But, you know, at least the big thing here is he can't Brutal Steel this. He has to play Flash Freeze or Harsh Winds to try and get through this one. Oh, just letting Ash fall? Okay. Works for me.
Alert the village. Save the homestead. These stories were true.
Okay.
I'm through waiting. Look out for
Let's take this 5 bomb. Ultimately, fairly awkward situation to be in here, but let's see what we can do. I guess we're just not going to get any of this value out of the augers. Trundle can change this though. Well, we can Trundle, but then we have to Ice Veil Archer the 5/5, so that this attack is still reasonable. Feel the rush? Oh. Okay. Okay. That's gonna hit Trundle and Nivea. This game's done. Okay. Good game.
I'm not a loser. You're the loser.
Okay, do we have any upgrades here? Definitely rather have Caught in the Cold than Shatter. That's a very good pickup here. Gives a little bit of interactivity. Okay, so yeah. As we were saying, you know, if our opponent can get bigger than us, then we're probably just gonna lose. Feel the Rush. That's a fantastic way to just get bigger than your opponent. Oh man. Anyways, I'd assume that we're against the. We're gonna run into the Grand Plaza here, and so not a whole lot we can do about that. But it's just that's a card to fully expect whenever you see your opponent playing this Demacia Shadow Isles with either Garen or Thresh. So I would fully expect that. I think our deck can probably stand up to it pretty well. The various Flash Freezes and just big boys. Yeah, I'm curious how long like the KDA cards are meant to stay around. I thought that they were supposed to just like leave the format after like a month or two. I don't know if they ran into like you know, issues with you know, generating cards and then taking them away or what, but I mean it's still here. We're still playing Field of Rushes, and so you saw that they played Out of the Way earlier as well. You're going to play a card? You're more than welcome to play a card. Maybe. You got the old toilet phone? Here we go. There's something. Playing some Key Guardians. Sure. Alright, I'm planning on just playing Behold the Infinite here to sink the mana. Follow the Comet's going to be good enough majority of the time. Okay, alright, so if we get through this turn, then we can, you know, start playing units every turn with some bagged spell mana. This isn't too scary. Dude, it's like I'm kind of tempted to play a Sunblessed Vigor, but it's too important to have like access to the spell mana combat trick once we start playing like 5 and 6, and then maybe if we had a 7. So no need to be super cutesy with that.
For justice, for democracy.
Okay, I'm interested in seeing what happens here.
Fear
Like, if we win with Sunblessed Vigor, it's just huge. And then, yeah, if he gets a strike in, it's fine. We're just going to have to pivot over to playing Fallen Comet onto this thing. I guess we could try to shut it down with Fury of the North as well, though. That would leave us with 3 mana. Not that bad. So, I mean, what happens if we say, like, Caught in the Cold here? He probably still hooks because this has a barrier. Like, how far behind are we going to fall if we play the Fallen Comet onto Garen? This is going to be a 5-6 after that. I think this is okay. We can still hook, which is what I assume he's going to do to get this Garen flip. But at least our turn isn't just like completely shut down now. Oh, that's another way to do it. The interesting thing here is it now makes our dragon a 6/6 in the face of his dragon, and so I don't think we have to worry about like too much here. Open. He's gonna have his rally either way, so I think this is fine. We're just gonna follow Comet Garen. It's not even like super important to hit the Garen this turn in the sense that, you know, a rally next turn just doesn't matter. So this is clearly going to hit our Firebrand. Okay. Bringing it. Okay, let's see what this amounts to. Interesting. Did not expect this to just. Thought we were going to see something happen there. Weird. Black Spear, sure. Right, now that we've gotten through that mess, I feel like a little bit better about us being able to just wear him out at the top end here. Don't care about like a 6 open from Garen. Should be even better.
For king and
Oh.
country.
Okay.
Bring their ranks.
Weird. Why is he protecting him so hard?
Knocked and ready. Husks in my way.
Soul Gorger.
King of trolls coming through.
Well, I think we just make this attack, right?
My arrow won't miss.
He's going to get to gain some health. It's not a big deal. Then, as I say, if this happens over here, we could potentially get a pretty big take heart. This gives us a good answer for his Soul Gorger, or his Garen now. Another way to try to take him down. Okay.
Stay resolute.
Sure.
Stay back.
We'll take the bait on whatever's happening here. Judgment's fine. Any combat trick is fine. Like, this seems like a pretty positive turn for us. Then we can Play the pillar, flip our Trundle, then rumble our Trundle so we have a hook onto Garen. That should be lethal. He just lets his Garen die? Wow. So he's just gonna have like a missed call or something? That seems... That's I'm boozled about that play. It's so weird he's been doing this stuff without combat tricks.
Each spirit woven in tapestry.
Let's just cycle around and bank some spell mana here. This Rumble, it's gonna have 2 targets next turn. This has a 3rd Garen, that's completely fine. The barrier rally, okay.
The wicked must fall.
Don't want to give this up. So okay, sure. So it's a little slower, but
I wasn't strong enough.
gives us his 3rd Garen. Oh, we picked up a flash freeze. That's pretty cool. You can open on us now, but this seems horrible.
Tenacity through trial.
I'll knock 'em dead.
Do we want to advertise that we have this flash freeze? Maybe not just yet. Not. There's a chance that this Garen attack doesn't go well. Okay, that was his 3rd Garen, so we don't have to worry about.
Today we turn the tide of war.
We don't have to worry about judgments anymore. Then we have good blocks with how this is lined up. We're just gonna take 3, but we can block all this perfectly. Nice, nice. I think we want to do this thing again where we just Augur of the Old Ones our Ice Pillar. Rummel's not that fantastic with as far as having regenerate's concerned. A little concerned about this Usari. This could be a problem. I assume he's probably looking to like bury or hook our Rummel though, or would he rather just try to go for the kill across 2 turns? I would think that he just wants to go face with the elusive. Oh, he's got. Well, if anyone if anyone knows how how this actually works with the Soul Spinner and the Usari and what's strongest, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Okay. This is more expensive, right? This is the strongest unit that he has. AGS, okay. See if he spews here. Nope. But I mean, it has as far as strongest as concerned, right? This has the most health out of all, or most attack out of all his units. Now it has the most health as well. All right, game. Let's see if you can show us how this works. Okay, cool. The Usari picked that up.
Bow to your king. Off I go.
Do we ever lethal him here? I guess we do have to stop and consider this. Probably not. He's just got too much health, right? He can block with Shen as well.
Get ready for a beatdown.
Stand firm.
Doesn't he try to kill our Rummel?
Injustice.
Could we have gotten that one? That health was really close. Well, we could have hooked his giant unit with Ice Pillar, then attacked with all these other things. I think we may have missed that lethal there. That would have been pretty close. It's ultimately pretty scary. What if he's... Like, I don't want to be all in against, like, a Will of Ionia. Cool. But yeah, let's get ourselves into this final battle. That's pretty dope. Here I don't want Shatters, since that's a pretty easy star shaping pickup. Just basically looking to get rid of expensive cards for cheap cards. But Like, I'm not real excited about the Firebrand for the Ibex. I think we want to trade out the Poro for the Challenger unit. Okay, I don't think we need Ice Quakes. Yeti Yearling, that's a tough one. The Yeti Yearling just doesn't do anything in our deck. So I guess as much as I said we wanted to just make our deck cheaper, we've just cycled out cheaper cards for more expensive cards twice. But here the Flash Freeze is better than the Vigor. And our last one. I'm good to trade a Harsh Winds for a Bloodsworn Pledge. So cool. Let's do it because it's ready here. Alright. Final battle it is. Let's see what we can do. Maybe we can pull out a 7 winner. Such success with left pack drafting as opposed to real drafting. Hopefully we can pull this off. Alright, there we go. Seems as though we found an opponent. The old spiders, huh? Okay, alright, well. Gonna need a little bit of something to do in the early game. This is questionable if we can keep this caught in the cold. That's tough. when you pick up hands like this, probably not. I can't imagine we ever win this game against an aggressive spiders deck. But you know, the idea is, you know, if we need to come out here and pick up a 2 or 3 cost unit, then you know the caught in the cold doesn't do anything if we don't have that unit to begin with. So. Alright, let's see what we can do. Maybe we're not out of it just yet.
You can see the Nebastian border from here.
Didn't start with an Elise, and so that's at least bonus number 1 for us. I'm 100% about to caught in the cold this House Fighter, but as I say, if he plays a little bit more aggressive of a unit, then I'll gladly go and take that one down. I don't care what dies. I don't care if it's a House Spider. We just got to get something off of the board here. You're really gonna have a Blade's Edge? Oh, Vile Feast. That's pretty savage. Okay, well. No, we don't have. Fuck. Okay.
To victory!
Sure. That's brutal. None of these particularly matter. Are we ever going to hit another Invoke? Probably not. So let's just take the Destroyer because it's the cheapest one. And Avalanche. Come on, deck, one time. Yeah, we did it. We did it. I wonder how greedy can we get with this Avalanche? Can we just play it and then... or can we just pass here? Probably not. Let's be real. At least... Let's at least see where this part gets us. I'm not expecting too much out of this Ice Veil Archer, but should be able to, you know, block something next turn as long as he's not playing Brood Awakenings here. Crawling Sensations is fine.
Winter take you.
Okay. Weird, he didn't save this for next turn. That works for me. All the Crawling Sensations, sure. Okay. Not completely out of it. That gets that gets us a lot closer to being completely out of it. But this will accomplish the same thing as an Augur of the Old Ones. We're going to take 12 here.
I'll protect the villages.
Okay. Nothing we can do about that. I think we're probably done for, but there is a world where maybe he just doesn't open attack into us next turn, and we're able to get the stairs down. So I want to play Trundle so we get to bank up this mana. We're only playing 1 unit regardless of how this goes, and so maybe something weird happens to where we want to actually use this mana, but we can still be Darius if he doesn't open on us.
My axe is ready.
Okay. No open? Come on, guy. Do something weird. Alright, well that wasn't really a game. I thought we had the opportunity to get back into it when we picked up the Avalanche, but when your opener contains 2 8 drops, you're not not really long for the world. And so, we did talk about that that concept a little bit earlier as to why I don't really like Behold as a mechanic. If you've got to physically include 8 cost cards in your deck, that is like such a humongous deck building constraint that whatever you're including those 8 cost cards for has to be pretty relevant, right? And in that game, if those were just like actual anything that we could have played, it would have been a much different scenario. And so I do think we made a mistake on that mulligan hanging onto the cot in the cold. It would have looked much better if we'd actually picked up a an Icebell Archer or Rhymefang Wolf or something. I had in my head that it's like we really just need a way to manage an Elise in the early game, and so that was ultimately why I kept the cot in the cold in the opener. But mulligan into Augur of the Old Ones and two what do you call it? It that stares. It's a bit of a problem. And so yeah, I mean, as far as this deck goes, I've never been a humongous fan of this. I hate the 2 cost 4/3 that beholds into being a gigantic unit. It's either complete dog shit or just no fun. Like, right? It's like, oh, you hit your random behold on the second turn of the game. So it's like you're either playing 1 or 2 8 drops, and you just like luckily hit it, and you're just like hitting these beholds the whole way, or you're playing like 5 or 6 8 drops, which is just horrible. And so I really hate that card is around and exists. I mean, not a huge fan of the 2 cost behold unit that ramps. There's absolutely nothing more abysmal than that thing existing. And so it's just like there's just so many feels bad moments for everyone as far as these 8 cost beholds go. I don't have the solution to fix that. I don't think that generating a bunch of 8 cost cards is really the solution, but that's typically the way that you get around that. But I don't know. That's something for the game designers at Riot to decide. I'm just here to bitch about bitch about their work, not tell them how to fix it. And so yeah, that's ultimately what we ran into that game. That was kind of awkward. At the stairs, he tried to be a hero at some points of the trial. That I felt like that one kind of showcased why I don't like it. It's just too expensive. Too many situations where the AOE doesn't matter. Too many situations where the landmark destruction doesn't matter. And so, if you're out here looking to draft this Trundle deck, though, this is the actual big piece of it. It's the Scar Maiden Reaver, Trundle, Alpha Wildclaw, Augur of the Old Ones, and just having this big old beefy overwhelm regenerate package. Even if you're not able to attack with all of your units every turn of the game, your stuff's usually bigger than your opponent's, and you get to just kind of shut down the board. And so ideally, if you're looking to field this deck, you need some kind of interactive elements, whether or not that's things like Avalanche and Trundlequake. Any way to just AoE tends to play very well with these regenerate units. Having this early game package of the various Frostbites along with the various Challenger Wolves, also fantastic way to lock up the early game. This didn't really piece together as being, anything where Yetis would be involved, but, just if you're just going to say, okay, the core of my deck is going to be Trundle, Alpha Wildclaw, Augur of the Old Ones, and Scar Maiden Reaver, what else do we want in our deck to take advantage of this? And all you really need is a way to make sure you get there. And so it's mostly just a exercise in managing your curve, which we would have had a pretty good curve if we were actually out here picking the cards on our own. But nonetheless, I think that is going to do it for us today. I was pretty happy that we at least took our left pack draft to the final battle. I feel like our opponents were probably out here picking real cards and things, and we were just taking the ones on the left, and that got us pretty far today. We got a pretty good run with that in. And so, yeah, it looks like we are out of rewards yet again. And so, your reward for the day is to just go check out the spoilers over on the Play Runterra Twitter and get a little fulfillment that way. But, that is going to do it. And so I hope you all learned how to draw your 8-cost cards a little bit better. You learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.